Hi class, for this module we're going to talk about conic sections. The first conic sections I want to talk about is the circle because circle is the easiest one. So we're going to have to memorize the formula for the circle, and what I have right here is the standard form for the circle. So make sure you memorize it. The reason we want to keep it at this form is because if we have it in this form, you can recognize the center and the radius right away. So the radius is going to be r. Don't forget, this is r squared. Okay. So for this, for the first example, it's quite easy because they give you in standard form. So the center, you can see that is plus 4, which is x minus negative 4. Okay, so for x it's going to be negative 4, for y it's going to be 2, and don't forget this is r squared, so r is going to be 3. Okay. Now, how do we graph this? First, we locate the center. So we locate the center, so we have negative 4 up to right here. So this is the center. And then we go up, down, left, right, 3 units. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then from there, you draw the circle. Okay. Okay, moving on to number 2. As you can see, number 2, we do not have the standard form. We have general form. So we're going to have to rewrite. So how do we rewrite? We're going to complete the square. So I'm going to do it up here. Plus 2y minus 15. All right, so complete the square. First, let's put x together. I'm going to leave some space there. Put y together. And then put the constant to the other side. See, I add 15 over. Now, we're going to complete the square. So how do we complete the square? We going to take b, divide by 2, and square it. So b divide by 2, square it. It's going to be negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. You just add 9. So we're going to have to add 9 over here. We're going to do the same thing for y. So I take 2, I divide by 2, I square it. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 square is 1. You just add 1, so I'm going to have to add 1 over here. So now we're going to have to factor. So I have x minus 3 square plus y plus 1 square. And then over here we have 25. So therefore, for our circle, the center is going to be 3 and negative 1. The radius is going to be 5. So now we're going to locate the center. So we have 3 and negative 1 right here. So that's the center. The center, from there, we're going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we have our circle with center 3, negative 1, and the radius is 5. Okay, number 3. Same thing, right? We do not have the standard form, so we're going to have to rewrite. Now, notice that what I have right here is the 2 in front. So you cannot complete the square if you have the coefficient other than 1. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go back and divide everything by 2. So I'm not changing the problem. So if I divide everything by 2, now what I have is going to be x squared plus 2x plus y squared minus 3y equals 3/4. Okay, now we can complete the square. So if I complete the square, I'm going to do the exact same process. I'm going to take 2, divide by 2, square it. So it's going to be 1. I add 1 over here. Negative 3, divide by 2, square it. It's going to be positive 9 over 4. So don't forget it's 3 over 2 squared. So it's 9 over 4. So I'm adding 9 over 4 over here. Now we're going to complete the square. We're going to factor x plus 1 square plus y minus 3 over 2 square. Over here, for the radius, we can just perform the LCD. So it's going to be 3/4 plus 4 over 4, 7 over 4, plus 9. So that's going to be 16 over 4. 16 over 4 is just 4. So the radius is going to be 2 because I have to take the square root of 4. It's going to be 2. So this is the radius. The center is going to be negative 1, 3 over 2. Okay, so let's just go ahead and sketch the graph. So I have negative 1, 3/2. 3/2 is going to be 1.5. So it's right here. Okay, and then the radius is 2. So I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And that's my circle. Okay, now they give you the information and they want you to write the equation for the circle. So let me just go ahead and write the general form to remind you. You should have this memorized. R square. Okay, so they give you the center at the origin. The origin is 0, so I'm going to put x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals. Now we have through the point the origin, and then the other point is negative 6, 0. So from here to here, so imagine this is 0, 0, and this is negative 6, 0. So this part right here, the distance is going to be 6. So that's going to be the radius. But don't forget, you have to take 6 square. So what I have for this equation is going to be x squared plus y squared equals 36. Okay. Now, that problem is quite easy because you have the center at the origin. Now we have the center at negative 7, 2, and the radius is 4. So you have every information. So we have x plus 7 square plus y minus 2 square equals 4 square, right? So if you want to rewrite, simplify it, we're gonna get 16 like that. Now, the next problem slightly harder because they give you the center, not 0, 0, and then they give you a point. So imagine if I have negative 2. So let's say if I had negative 2, 6 is right there. Negative 2, and then I have negative 6, 2. So it's somewhere down here, right? Okay. So the goal is to find the distance from here to here. Okay, so how do I find that distance? I just go with the distance formula. So hopefully you still remember the distance formula. The distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And then you take the square root of it. So we have 2 points. You're going to plug it in, right? So x in this case is negative 2 minus negative 6 square plus y2 is 6 minus y1, 2 square. And then I simplify it. So what I have right here is negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 here, 4 square plus 4 square. So that's going to be 16 plus 16. So it's 32. Okay. So I have the square root of 32. Now we're going to plug it in, right? So the circle, center 0, center negative 2. So it's going to be x plus 2 squared plus y minus 6 squared. Now for the radius, don't forget that we have the square root of 32 squared. So the radical cancel out. Okay, so I have x plus 2 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 32. So when you get to this point right here, I know it's tempted to simplify, right? But don't do it because don't forget this is writing the equation, so we're gonna have to square the radius. So the radical is gonna cancel out. Okay, so that's what you need to know for circle.